Hello, I am Vivian McGrath from vivianmcgrath.com. And today I want to talk about how to choose happiness over fear because it's a choice. You know, many women come to me and they say to me, I'm ready. I've had enough. I've done with this life I'm leading and I'm over it. I'm ready to heal my life. And by that, what they're talking about is they're ready to heal from this pattern of repeating relationships with toxic partners who are emotionally unavailable to them, who are damaged in some way. They're tired of never feeling fulfilled or happy in relationships and always feeling like they're giving more than they get in return. And they really are, they're fired up when they come to me and they say, I'm ready, I'm over this. I want to heal my life. I'm done, you know. But then they start to list all the reasons why they can't. You know, whether it's, I don't have time, or my situation is different. I'm not like you or other women, you know, whatever the excuses are, my kids, my work, my job, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't, whatever. I hear all of them. And the reason is this: they feel uncomfortable. As soon as they start to feel the resolve that I am going to heal my life, they start to feel uncomfortable. And what happens when you get out of your comfort zone is this: you start to contract in fear. You start to want to go back to feeling numb and suppressing your emotions because it gets too scary getting out of your comfort zone. And what happens is you start to slip back into coping mechanisms, which are denial. For example, my situation's not that bad. Maybe it's not that bad. You know, it's better. I'm better than I was a year ago. You know, even though you've been doing this for years and years and years. Many of these women say to me, I've been in this state of anxiety and fear and unfulfillment and unhappy relationships for years. But then, as I said, when they're at that point where they say, I'm ready to heal this, they get uncomfortable and they go back into that state of, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I'm okay. Or that state of, you know, focusing on everybody else's problems. You know, that martyrdom where you are focused on everybody else so that you can convince yourself there's nothing to see here. I don't need to fix myself. Look, everybody else's problems are worse than mine. Or you get into that state where you're just doing more. You're busy, busy, busy. If you're so busy, then you can't think about things. Or you just keep achieving more so that if I'm successful in this, that, and the other, and I work really hard, then I'll feel great about myself. You know, forget about the fact that your personal life is a disaster if you can be great in your career and you become this high achiever. Or you go back to those avoidant, what am I talking about? Comfort coping mechanisms like eating comfort food, drinking too many glasses of wine every night. You could be going for I can't speak today. Casual sex that makes you feel better. Nothing wrong with that. But if it's not fulfilling and you feel empty after it, as I said, working too hard is another coping mechanism. And they, in effect, what you're doing when you're doing that is you're slamming that box inside shut. The one that starts to feel uncomfortable when you are at that point where you say, I'm ready to heal my life. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone. And then you think, whoa, that is too uncomfortable. I'm going to slam that box shut. And that box inside, that deep box inside, is the one that is filled with shame, guilt, fear, insecurity. I'm not good enough. Who's going to ever love me? Do you know that box inside I'm talking about? And and when you go to have to take the steps to heal, guess what? You have to open that box, and it does get uncomfortable. So you need to get ready to get out of your comfort zone and face those things that are going on inside, that shame, that guilt, that fear. Look to why you don't feel lovable enough, why you don't feel good enough. And what I say about it is that it's short-term pain for, well, not pain, but short-term feeling uncomfortable for long-term transformation. You know, the possibility of opening yourself up to another future, one that isn't the same as what you've been repeating over and over and over again, which is attracting the same types who are unavailable, who don't care about your needs, who take advantage of you, who hurt you. But opening yourself up to the possibility that if you can heal within, there might be open, wonderful, happy, loving, lasting relationships that bring you joy, laughter, love, adventure, happiness. Do you remember what that feels like? If you've been repeating this pattern over and over again, I'm sure you don't, you know. And so what, you know, many of these women say to me is they've lived in this state of anxiety and fear for a long, long, long time, for years. And when you keep thinking, I'm ready, I want to heal, but then you get out of your comfort zone and you contract back to your comfort zone, which, let's face it, is not a comfort zone because it's a repeated pattern of relationships that hurt you. And what happens if you keep retreating back into that comfort zone and going round on that same cycle over and over and over again, what happens is this, and I know it because I see it in so many women, you know, your health starts to suffer because you're internalizing all that stress and anxiety. Your health really starts to suffer. You lose all your passion and purpose, and you're living in that survival mode. You're not thriving, you're in survival mode. You know, that survival mode where you're in fight or flight all the time, wary of who's going to be the one that takes advantage of me next. You lose all joy. You can't reach your potential at work because you're afraid of what others think of you and you're afraid of confrontation. And you start to feel disconnected from everybody around you, including your kids. I see this over and over and over again. And you start to think, what's the point? It's years and years and years of the same old thing that I'm not finding happiness in. So my question is that the life you want to lead? And you can choose happiness over fear. But I know it's scary when you are on the edge of saying, I'm ready. I can't live like this another day. I have to do something to change my life. It then is frightening. It's scary. It's like, well, gosh, this is familiar to me. I know this. It's my comfort zone. And stepping out of it, you really have a huge fear of the future, a huge fear of the unknown. How many of you is that familiar to? Because do you know why we go back before we leave these toxic relationships for good? It takes us on average 7 times to leave. And that's exactly why, because every time you leave, you feel so overwhelmed. It's terrifying. You feel vulnerable. You're afraid of the future and the unknown. So what do? You go back because you want a short-term Band-Aid. You want them to say, you know what? I know you loved me and everything you did for me was in my best interest, and I'm sorry, and all that stuff. You go back because you want a short-term Band-Aid. You want to feel good even for a short time, even though you know that you know what's going to happen, that cycle is just going to repeat, because the short-term comfort you get from contracting back into that old familiar pattern is easier than the overwhelm and the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone to change your life. And, I know which road I preferred. It was terrifying to me. I was a single mother with nothing. I was terrified of the future. I was terrified of what it was going to take to open that box inside and look within and realize I had a lot of fear, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of insecurity, a lot of I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable. I know how scary that is and how vulnerable you fear, but I knew which road I preferred. I preferred the one that led me to the possibility of a life that was different, a life that might be one day filled with joy, happiness, adventure, laughter, love, lasting love, with a partner who valued me, who supported me, who nurtured me and adored me, and was an equal partner that I could grow together and grow old with. And that's what I found, and I'm so grateful I leaned into that fear and did it anyway. So you just need to ask yourself this: is your fear, no, let me ask it another way. Is your certainty that you've had enough of repeating this pattern of relationships with unavailable, emotionally unstable, unbalanced partners that lead you into relationships that are exhausting, are hard work, unfulfilling, and unhappy? Is your certainty you're done, you're ready, you're over that? You want to heal your life greater than the fear of getting out of your comfort zone to do so? Because that is what it takes. You have to choose happiness over fear. Do you want to free yourself from that anxiety, that exhaustion, that fear, that uncertainty? What if my life is always going to be like this? And that I don't want to look back one day with regret that I didn't give myself the chance. And if you do, and you want to step into that secure, balanced adult who is full of self-worth, has strong boundaries, knows what she wants, values herself, and never settles for anything less than she deserves again, if so, then I'm ready to grab your hand and take you through that part that is out of your comfort zone and is uncomfortable and is a little scary, and show you that that is the way out. That is the way through to where the light at the other end of the tunnel exists. And I know that because I found it and I recreated my life. I chose happiness over fear, and I went to liberate myself in life and love in every aspect of my life. And you deserve that. You absolutely deserve that. But it has to start with you. You have to make that choice. I know that when I say I'm ready to heal, I'm done, I'm over it, I want to change my life, you need to be certain that you're also ready to lean in to the fear of getting out of your comfort zone to do so. Does that make sense? And if you are, then there's a number of ways that I can help you. The first is watch my free webinar, How to Recover from Toxic Relationships, Fall Back in Love with Your Life, and Never Settle for Less Than You Deserve Again. And that is for women who are absolutely ready to come unstuck and understand what it takes, even though it might feel scary and out of your comfort zone, what it takes to heal your life. Download my free ebook is another way. Or if you're not in my Facebook group already, join my free Facebook group. I've put all the links in the description below. So that is for you if you are absolutely ready and your certainty that you are done and you're ready to heal your life is greater than your fear of getting outside your comfort zone to do so. You know, I won't lie, it's not easy, but if it is, everyone would have done it, you know, and the hurdle that I see, the difference between the women who go on to grab my hand and I work with them and absolutely fundamentally change their lives in their careers, in their relationships with their children, in their relationships with loving partners, and in their lives, the difference between them and the women who I see go back and get stuck in that cycle for another 5 years, another 10 years, is that decision. I don't care what it takes. I'm ready to choose happiness over fear, step out of my comfort zone and put in the work, do whatever it takes to heal. So if that's you, do look for my webinar and my free ebook, or join my Facebook group. And I look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for joining me. I see Doodlebug, you're here. Hello. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in my next live video.